Hello and good morning. We're in week 5. Let's take a look here. Okay, so a couple of things. It says draw a Venn diagram. Well, one of them is candy, and you have an overlap, and the other one is juice. So the overlap right here is 200. 200 people like both. 700 like candy, but you already have 2. So 700 minus 2 gives you 500. And juice, you have 400, and 400 minus 200 gives you 200. Okay? And apparently, you have neither here. So this would be 0, or the null set. So the total would be, if you add all of set C, you would have 700. Plus, if you add all of circle J, you would have 400. But what you're doing there is, you're adding the overlap or the intersection twice. So you have to subtract 200. And when you subtract 200, you get a total of 900. And that's the total. Okay? So again, you have an overlap of 200 for each circle. So you got to subtract it once. So that's 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's go on. Logic. Copy all of this down right here. This is a new chapter, so pay attention. Also, I need you to check your answers in the book. Some of you are not doing that. And when you take the test, it's not helping you. So you have to check your answers. Okay, so which one is a statement? Well, Florida is a state in the United States. That's true. That's a statement. This one right here, how are you? That's not a statement. It's a question. Definition. A simple statement conveys a single idea, whereas a compound statement conveys 2 or more ideas. All right, there's a chart on page 108. So find a book, open it up to page 108, and copy down this chart right here. Let's talk about this chart. Okay, so these symbols you need to know. Like that squiggly is not. Upside down V is in. A V is R, this or this. When it's written like this, it's called an if-then statement. If P, then Q, and that's how you represent it. It's a conditional. If P. If I save enough money, then I will be able to go to the store. You had this in geometry. If I make good grades, then I can go outside and play. If and only if is a biconditional. It has to be true both ways. So if I save enough money, then I will go to the movies. If I go to the movies, then I will have saved enough money. Okay, so a biconditional has to go both ways. Okay, so let's move on. Copy down these definitions. A truth value of a simple statement is either true or false, whereas a truth value for a conditional or a compound statement, it depends on the values of its simple statements and its connectives, like or and. A truth table is a table that shows the truth value of a compound statement for all possible truth values of the simple statements, plural. Negation is right here. So today is Friday, so the negation is today is not Friday. Okay, so down here, let's take a look. This person is an opera singer. The negation is this person is not an opera singer. The dogs or the dog does not need to be fed. So the negation would be the dog does need to be fed. Okay? Let's keep moving. Example 3. They want you to use these using the symbols. So this one says and, so you have to use the upside down V. Today is Friday is P. So it's P upside down and then Q. It is raining. Today is Friday and it is raining. Okay? So you got to go through these. This one right here is not Q. So Q is it is raining. So not Q would be it is not raining and I am going to the movie. This one is not S and this is R. This is if Q. So you're going to say if it is raining, Q is right here. If it is raining, then I am not going to the basketball game. That would be that one. Okay, example 4. Let's finish this up. Consider the following. It's the same idea. So you're going to translate this right here. This is Q and P. So Q is this one. The game will be shown on CBS and the game will be played in Atlanta. This is not R and S. This is S if and only if, not P. And here are the translations. Okay? So what I want you to do today is page 115, 1 through 18. And make sure you copy the problems, okay? And check your answers. All right, we're going to turn our attention now from liberal arts to college algebra. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have to factor these. Here you can't factor anything out, so I'm going to multiply 3 times 4 and get 12. A negative and a positive on that chart is going to be 2 negatives, so you're going to be adding to get the middle term of 8. So what times what is 12 that's going to add to give you 8? Well, let's think here. 1 times 12? No. 2 times 6? 6, 7, 8. Okay, there it is right there. So we're going to substitute in place of that. So we're going to say 3x squared, and then 2x, and then 6x, and then plus 4. Now the middle one's a minus, so we want the bigger one here, the 6, to be the minus. We're going to factor out x, and we're left with 3x plus 2. We're going to factor out a negative 2, and we're left with 3x plus 2. And then this is the same as this, so you take one of those out, and you're left with x minus 2. Now you were taught this, and this is a review. This one right here is the difference of 2 squares, but you can factor out a 4, and you have to factor out a 4. Once you do that, this becomes x plus 2 and x minus 2. And there's your answer. If you leave that 4 off, it is wrong. Okay, write the rules for multiplying and dividing. Well, when you multiply, you can reduce any top with any bottom. Okay? When you divide, you have to keep it, change it from division to multiplication, and then flip. Keep, change, flip. Say that to yourself. Let's take a look here now. We're going to go on. Copy down number 1. Here we're going to be adding and subtracting. Well, here you have the same denominator. So if you have the same denominator, you add the numerators. So 6u plus 1 more u makes 7u. This one gives you a negative 4v, right? Because there's a 1 here. All over 8v. And that's all you can do. This one right here, copy that down. You have the same denominators, but you have to distribute that negative. So this is going to become a negative, and that's going to become a negative. And now you combine. So x and negative x is 0. That cancels out. And then 2 and a negative 3 is a negative 1. So your final answer is negative 1 all over this. And I'm not going to rewrite it, so I'm just going to say least common denominator. All right, let's try this one. Now this is a little harder. When you add or subtract, your denominators have to be the same. This is factored. So the way I'm going to work it is I'm going to put a 4 here, and I'm going to move the x minus 1 over here. And what I get is the least common denominator is going to be a 4 and an x minus 1, both of those. So this is going to be 6 times 4, that's going to be 24 minus 5x squared right here, right? X times x. And then a negative times a negative is going to be a positive 5x. And now I'm going to combine like terms. Well, there's nothing I can combine, but I can write it in descending order. So that's negative 5x squared plus 5x plus 24 all over my least common denominator, which is that. Okay, let's move on to this one. This one right here, you have to first factor your denominators. So you have to take a 2 out of here, and you're left with n plus 3. Now you have to find your least common denominator. Your least common denominator is actually all of this. It's going to be n plus 5, 2, and n plus 3. So if this is your least common denominator, you're missing the 2, n plus 3. And I'm going to write it as 2n plus 6. Okay, which is the same thing. On this one, you're missing the n plus 5. So you're going to distribute here, and you're going to get 10n plus 30 plus 4n squared, and then that gives you plus 20n. These are a little harder because you have to have the same denominator. And now you combine like terms, and you're finished. All right, so today we're working a worksheet, and if you're absent and I don't have any worksheets out, you need to either get them from someone or go to the video. Here they are. We're going to do the front side first today. And we may do some of the back. All right, I hope this helps you. So have a good one.